Welcome in, welcome in. Happy Monday to you. I hope you guys can hear and see me okay. Welcome in. I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and today is our Monday Midday Cruise Q&A. I try to go live on Mondays whenever I'm not cruising to answer questions that you may have about cruising. So appreciate you guys spending a little bit of your Monday with me. Let me make sure you can hear and see me though, because I swapped platforms as far as where I go live. So I was going live straight from YouTube and I went back to Streamlabs. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear and see me and that I am live over on Facebook. If you guys can let me know if you can hear and see me, let me just make sure I'm live on Facebook. But I hope you guys are doing well and I hope you guys are enjoying this fall weather. If you guys are located, we're in Ohio, so it's been beautiful weather lately. I think today we're probably like mid 70s, so really, really nice. All right, it looks like we are live over on Facebook. So awesome, awesome. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me go here to the comments. Let's see here. Make sure everything's working all right before we get started. All right, says you can hear, you can see me. All right, I don't know why all of my comments aren't coming through here. Let me just, oh, there they are. Perfect. Okay. All righty, let me exit out of here. Sorry, got to get everything together. There we go. All right, I'm back and I am good. But welcome in, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. If you are new here, I'm RacQuelle from MH Family Adventures. And again, I go live on Mondays to answer questions that you may have about cruising. I am also the owner of Major Adventures Travel Agency, where we focus solely on cruises. So I decided maybe about 6 months ago to start doing these Monday Midday Cruise Q&As because I get a lot of questions related to cruises or cruising from first time cruisers, veteran cruisers. I get all kinds of questions all the time. And, because I'm constantly traveling, creating content, or booking clients to cruise, sometimes it's hard for me to answer a lot of questions that I get in comments and chats and DMs and emails. So I like to go live to answer any general questions that you may have about cruising. Now, I have been on 78 cruises over the last 5 years. So I don't like to call myself an expert per se, but I do have quite a bit of experience when it comes to cruising. I've cruised pretty much all of the major cruise lines, most of them multiple times. Just got back from Greece. So if you missed yesterday's vlog premiere, I did release our vlog series or our day one, day two of our pre-cruise adventure in Athens. And this was part of our MH Family Adventures group cruise to Greece, where we had 42 people join us. So be sure to check that out. But yes, if you have questions about cruising, feel free to start dropping those in the chat. I will do my best to answer. Now, sometimes there's questions that I don't have the answer to, and I'll just let you guys know that up front. But for the most part, if you have cruise questions, I probably have an answer for you. So let's see who's here in the chat. Welcome in, Savvy Voyages. Appreciate you being here. The first one in the chat. Thank you for being here. Hanging with the hordes. Welcome in. It says good on YouTube. Thank you so much. Letting me know that you can hear and see me okay. Denise, welcome in. Says can see and hear you well. Awesome. Guys, if you hear some barking in a little bit, just heads up. I am dog sitting. My sister just got off a cruise ship this morning, so I'm watching her dog, and anytime there's a noise, he starts barking. So if you hear barking, it is not David Ruffin. I'm dog sitting. So Keisha H, welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Says, see and hear you well on YouTube. Thank you so much. Bubba D. Willis, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Denise says, yes, it's beautiful in Connecticut. Nice. Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice here. I'm enjoying it. Welcome in, Drea. Appreciate you being here. And shout out to all of our channel members who are watching. We really appreciate your support. Thank you so much, Candace. Thank you for being here as well. Welcome in, Sean. I hope you are doing well. Appreciate you tuning in. Isa Black, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Trucking and traveling says I am out of, is it Versailles, Ohio, working. Nice. I don't think I've heard of that location. I'll have to look it up. Everyone's let me know it's good here. Elisa's Adventures and Cruising. Welcome in, welcome in. And speaking of Elisa's Adventures and Cruising, tomorrow we are doing a special forgot what it's called. We haven't done it in so long. Chit Chat Tuesday, where I have invited on some of our group members, fellow content creators, to kind of talk about what happened during our Greece trip so they can kind of share. Most of everyone that was a part of our Greece group trip were brand new to Greece or brand new to cruising abroad. So just to kind of get their perspective of cruising, traveling abroad, their first impressions of Greece, the cruise line, the cruise ship, as well as being part of our group. So make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is currently live on our channel, so you can turn the notification bell on. Elisa's Adventures in Cruising, she does have some content already out there, but she will be joining us, as well as Veronica from Life with V, and Edna from Edna's World. And I think we're going to have Bill from Warm Strong Adventures, and maybe a few other people popping in just to kind of talk about what happened in Greece. But thanks for being here, Elisa. Appreciate you. Debbie, welcome in. Welcome in. Fan Lions, hope you guys are doing well. It says good afternoon, RacQuelle in chat. Welcome home. Thank you so much. Yeah, we've been home now for exactly a week, but I'm literally just getting back to normal. Like that time difference, it's 7 hour time difference. It really took a toll. And I think just being so busy during the cruise, like I'm just now getting back as far as my sleep schedule. Now I did use an app to kind of try to eliminate some of the jet lag, but it was still just trying to get adjusted. I've been getting up so early in the morning, but that's part of what happens when you travel abroad. But guys, go ahead and start dropping your cruise questions in the chat. If you have any cruise questions at all, feel free to drop those in. Coco Travels, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Let's see here. Vernell, welcome into you. And Tanya Brooks says hello, Brookwell and everyone. Welcome in, Game Changer. Appreciate you being here. Says good afternoon, Q and chat family. Let's see here. Will G, welcome in. Good afternoon to you and happy Monday. Sig, the solo cruiser, welcome in. Says hello, Raquel in chat. Appreciate you being here, Sig. M. Stewart says hi, popping in to say hello. Appreciate you popping in. Tracy says, hey, everybody, love your videos, Raquel. Thank you so much, Tracy. We appreciate your support because I'm looking for questions. I appreciate you guys speaking, but start dropping your questions. That's why I'm here. Charlene says hello from Indianapolis, Indiana. Yes, I know you're getting that cool weather as well. Chickadee, welcome in. Hello to you. Hello to you. And Vernell says, what is a good cruise with people with disabilities? That's a really good question. So it depends on what your disability is. There are pretty much all cruise lines offer some sort of accommodations. It truly just depends on what your needs are. There are some that are, I think, a little better than others. I would say if you look at the cruise lines that traditionally, when you look at the demographics, they accommodate more of a middle age to older crowd. They tend to be best when it comes to accommodation. So think Holland America, Princess Cruises, those cruise lines. But pretty much all cruise lines will offer special accommodations, whether it's an accessible cabin. They have accessible cabins for those who are confined to wheelchairs or scooters. They also have accessible cabins for those that might need, extra space for mobility reasons or because of size. They also have cabins that are designed for guests who may be either blind or deaf. So you just have to do a lot of research to figure out which cruise line, which ship, because I could say that a cruise line can accommodate, but sometimes it goes down to narrowing it down to a specific ship because each ship has different features. But it really just depends on what you're looking for. If you're someone with an intellectual disability, autism, developmentally delayed, things like that, for the most part, most cruise lines have programs in place to help support as much as they can for those who are cruising. And there's also an organization called Autism on the Seas, if you're not familiar with them. It's for anyone that has an intellectual disability, autism, developmentally delayed, that wants to cruise, and they're there to support. I volunteered with Autism on the Seas. Right now, they're currently partnering with Royal Caribbean, mostly Royal Caribbean. They do some Disney, they do some Carnival, but pretty much you'll get a volunteer that will be there to help support, whether you are the individual with disability or whether you're a family member who wants to enjoy a cruise with your family member or friend. Autism on the Sea is a great organization. But yeah, I would say lean toward the cruise lines that tend to have a middle age to older demographic. They tend to have the best accommodations, but all cruise lines will accommodate as best as they can. You just have to book early. That is like the tip. The trick is to book early to get what you need. Make sure you put in the request for your accommodations and use a travel advisor, because we know how to contact the guest access departments to put in those special requests for you. That way you don't have to deal with all of that on your own. Welcome in, Mickey's Adventures. Appreciate you being here. Welcome in, Tammy Scott. Thank you so much for being here. It says, good afternoon. We're close to some of that cool weather. We're still in the 90s. Yeah. Yeah, I know some places still pretty warm, but we're enjoying it. Denise says, when's your next group cruise? Our next group cruise is actually December. We have MSC World America. It's a 7 night cruise, so brand new ship, 7 night cruise over the holidays. So December 20th through the 27th. That's our next official group cruise. We do have a couple of sail with me sailings happening. We have hold on. Holland Koningsdam, I can't think of when. Holland Koningsdam, October 21st. That's just a sail with me. So it's not an official group. It's just really people that want to be on board when I'm on board or when the family's on board. And we're going to, hang out, maybe have dinner, drinks, maybe do an excursion together. But it's not an official group. But yeah, our next official group is MSC World America. And I can tell you that it's pretty much sold out at this point as far as our group space. There are cabins left for 2 guests, but if you go online right now, cabins for 3 and 4 guests, they are sold out. So if you are looking to get on board, I do have some space available for 2 in a cabin. After that, our next group cruise would be June of next year, June 12th through the 19th. We have our Sisters Cruising Abroad, which is a ladies' trip. We're cruising out of Barcelona on board MSC World Europa. We also have Carnival Celebration next year, which is June 6th through the 13th, I believe it is. Carnival Celebration. I think that's it for 2026 right now. I'm probably missing one, but if you go on our website, majoradventurestravel.com, they are listed there. Let's see here, everyone's speaking to one another, and we have 75 people watching. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me, we would appreciate it. It helps put us out there in the algorithm, tells YouTube that people are interested in watching our channel, and it pushes out our videos to more people. Welcome in, Mel T. Appreciate you being here. Good afternoon to you. Let's see here. Drea says, what are your top 3 tips that you would give to someone looking to cruise abroad? Really good question. There's a lot of tips as far as cruising abroad. The first thing would be plan well in advance. It's kind of, you can book a Caribbean cruise or an Alaskan cruise sometimes last minute and it not be an issue, but you really want to research the places that you're visiting because things can be very different when you're cruising abroad. So booking, I've had clients to book like last minute, meaning like they're leaving next week or the week after, trips abroad. And because they really didn't have time to research the ports and the areas and the traditions and the people and things like that, it could be somewhat of a challenge. So I say book in advance. That way you have time to do research and you'll feel more comfortable cruising or traveling abroad if you have enough time to do research. Also, booking in advance, you're going to find the best rate. And then if not, if the pricing does drop, you're able to get your pricing adjusted before final payment. Also, cruising abroad, make sure you stay current on travel requirements, travel documentation. As a travel advisor, when you book something abroad, I will tell you, hey, yeah, passport's required. A valid passport, people don't understand this. There's a date on your passport. That passport date is not, or the expiration date is not necessarily correct, if that makes sense. So most countries require that you have at least 6 months left on your passport. So let's say you're trying to cruise in November and your passport expires in December. A lot of times you're not going to be able to enter a country unless you have at least 6 months beyond the date that you're returning back to the US on your passport. So double check requirements because some countries are requiring visas at this time. A lot of times it's not required for those who are cruising. It's usually if you're going to be there for more than like 14 days or 30 days or whatever. But there are some exceptions where you might have to have a visa because one, you might have a layover in an area that requires a visa, or some places just require a visa even if you are by cruise. So constantly look to see what the requirements are because they change often. So you might be told when you first book a year out that no, a visa is not required, but it could change. So just keep up to date on what the travel requirements are. And then a third tip would be I would say plan, and actually, I put a poll out there this week to ask because we are in the process of planning our second Greece group cruise, which has already been announced. If you are a channel member or if you were part of our Greece group cruise, you already know where we're going and which ship. Everyone else, you'll find out tomorrow during our my gosh, Chit Chat Tuesday, because I haven't done a Chit Chat Tuesday since May, I think. But you'll find out tomorrow during our Chit Chat Tuesday where we're going in 2027 to Greece and which ship we're going to be on. But I would say if you're going that far and you're traveling abroad, and I understand people want to cruise for different reasons. Some people like to cruise because, hold on, I need to put my do not disturb on. Bear with me for a second. Hold on. Sorry, that's dice. Sorry, life calls. Let me make sure I put my do not disturb on. Hold on, bear with me. Oh, I am. I am in do not disturb, but he's actually the exception to that. So sorry about that. Uh, hold on. So my other thing would be we all cruise for different reasons. Some of us cruise because of ships, some cruise because of ports, some cruise. I think if you're going abroad, um, hold on, I can't multitask. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. Um, sorry. Lost my train of thought. So, look to see. I feel like sometimes people go abroad, and a lot of times when people go abroad, like I might travel regularly, but that's not the case for a lot of people. A lot of times, traveling abroad, cruising abroad, it is a bucket list thing. So it might be a once in a lifetime trip. And sometimes people get stuck on getting the biggest, best ships. One thing you might notice too, cruising abroad, is that a lot of the ships are older or smaller because the waterways are a little bit different there. So sometimes the larger, like Oasis class ships, Icon class ships, may not fit, or you may not find those abroad, but you will find some really nice ones. Sometimes people get stuck on, I need to get a big, nice, expensive ship because I'm going abroad rather than focusing on the destination. So I would select a trip and itinerary based off the itinerary and not the ship, if that makes sense. So we were on a 30-year-old cruise line for our group cruise, and we had 6 ports. So 7 days, 6 ports, no sea days. We started in Athens, Greece. We went to Thessaloniki. We went to Kushadasi, Turkey, Crete, Santorini, Mykonos, and Milos. So that it was like, for most people, that's like a bucket list itinerary. And you may not get the same thing by going on a newer ship. Sorry. So yes, so there's my my tip there. So I'm all over the place. Mickey says match the number of thumbs up with the number of participants. Yes, thank you so much. Charlene says thank you for the cruise cash on our July Alaska. It was amazing. I hope you had a great time in Alaska. And thank you so much for being a client. Let's see here. Did it scroll back? I think it went all the way back. It did go all the way back. Hold on. Let's see. I'm looking for other questions. Yes. Gaynell says, welcome back home. Loved your vlog. Can't wait to go on a group cruise with you. Yeah, absolutely. Reach out whenever you're ready. Felicia says, hi there. I love your content. You're always so thorough. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support. And thanks for watching on Facebook. Kenneth says, welcome. And Kenneth says, good afternoon, Family Adventures. Love your videos. My question is, can you stay on the ship if you don't want to do any excursions? Absolutely. So if you are new to cruising and, you don't have to get off the ship at all. Once you get on the ship, you can literally stay on the ship the entire time and never get off until it's time to go home. Some people cruise that way. Some people, especially people that cruise often, like to just cruise for the relaxation of it or the ship activities or just the water, just being on their balcony, enjoying the water, things like that. So, yeah, people cruise for different reasons, but yeah, you can absolutely just stay on the ship and never get off in port, or you can get off at every single port. It's totally up to you. You can even, because I get this question asked a lot. Sometimes people feel like if we dock and we're at port 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., like I have to stay off the ship that whole time. No, you don't. You can get off 8 a.m., go get some coffee and something to eat, get back on, and you're done for the day, or you can get back off. So you can get on and off as much as you want during that port time. So yeah, you don't have to get off the ship at all. Myers Mill, welcome in, says dropping in during my lunch break. We'll appreciate you watching on your lunch break. Debbie Lynn says, what does include price protection on Carnival cruise? So price protection applies if you are booked on like their early saver promotion, which is their standard promotion. Price protection just means that if the price drops on your cruise apples to apples. This is the key because I can't tell you how many times I get questions about, oh, I saw in this Facebook group that so and so's cabin dropped or their cruise dropped or this dropped. It has to be apples to apples. So if you are booked in an interior cabin on deck 8 midship, when you look to see if there's a price drop, you have to be making sure that you're looking at an interior cabin midship on deck 8, because other cabin categories may have had a slight decrease. Or let's say if it's a balcony, because sometimes I get this all the time, like, oh, someone posted that they had $4 price drop. Well, that might apply for the balcony or suite that they're in, but it doesn't apply to you. It also depends on when they booked versus you might have booked a year in advance. So you were already locked in at the best rate. So price protection just means if the cost of your cruise goes down before you make final payment, that is the key, before you make the final payment, that you are able to um, get a credit, or you're able to get a refund or lower your price if you do it before your final payment. So it doesn't happen automatically. And we don't have like a software or system that tells us when the price drops. Sometimes there's some promotions that are released that we know, okay, this is going to be like a big drop for most people. Then we'll go in and adjust the pricing. We get a lot of clients too, which I have no problem with, that will message me and say, hey, I went online and it looks like my cruise went down, and we will adjust it immediately. Because we have so many clients, like there's no way for us to check each booking every single day. But what I do is anytime there's a payment processed or we get to final payment, things like that, then I always check to make sure, there wasn't a price drop or anything like that. But yeah, if you book directly with Carnival, you can call them to see about your pricing. There's also a price protection or price match form on the website that you can complete, and then they can adjust the pricing for you if you're before final payment. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Ice and Black says, would you choose Royal Caribbean Star of the Seas or MSC World America? Let me tell you guys this. I really, really enjoyed Star of the Seas. And if you watch my Icon of the Seas vlog, now keep in mind, guys, I get invited. I've been getting invited more regularly on sailings. I was invited on both Icon of the Seas and Star of the Seas. And if you watch my Icon of the Seas series, especially when I went live, I kind of talked about how I just didn't think Icon was necessarily for me. The size was too big. The pricing was, kind of outrageous. It's still the case. I mean, for Star of the Seas too. But there's a different vibe on Star of the Seas and Icon. And I would absolutely book Star of the Seas over Icon. I think they're both great ships. They both have they're identical, but there's a different vibe on Star of the Seas. And I think it's just in what some of the programming and some of the theme nights and just kind of how the crew, it's a little different. So if you've cruised Star of the Seas, you probably know what I'm talking about. MSC World America was awesome too. I honestly, if I had to pick today between Star of the Seas and World America, I almost certainly would choose World America, and here's why. MSC World America just offers an amazing value. They have some of the very same things that you're going to get. Keep in mind, MSC kind of mimic a lot of Royal Caribbean's ship features. So a lot of what you see on World America, you're going to find on Star of the Seas, with the exception of like the Aqua Theater and Aqua shows and things like that. But you're going to get a lot of the fun activities, the water slides, all of that on MSC World America for a fraction of the cost. So for me, because I am a budget conscious cruiser traveler, I would go with MSC World America. But if you're looking for something, if you're looking for those aqua theme shows, if you're looking for the Broadway style shows, which on board Star of the Seas is Back to the Future, amazing. You're not going to get that on World America. They're going to have some great shows on World America, but it's not going to be the Broadway style shows. Um, Personally, I would say food quality is about equal between the two. I know people give MSC slack about their food quality, but MSC World America was an exception to me. And I feel like across their whole fleet, the food has improved. But MSC World America, I had no issues with the food at all. So I would go MSC World America before Star of the Seas based on price alone. Welcome in, Sandra. Appreciate you being here. Belinda says, good morning. Welcome back. What are your thoughts about cruising during the winter? I cruise year round. Winter travel is nice because that's usually when kids are back in school. If you are someone who can't tolerate the heat, if you're cruising the Caribbean, you're going to find that the weather is tolerable. It's going to be like 80 degrees. You're still able to get in the water, be a little bit cooler, but it's not like 100-degree weather. So I personally like winter cruising. Something you need to be mindful though of with winter cruising is you hear a lot of people talk about, oh, I don't want to cruise during hurricane season. The waves are going to be bad, or it's going to be, rocky out there. That's not necessarily true. The winter time actually is when you're going to get more of the motion. So if you're cruising like January, February, that's usually when, because you have those winter currents and winter. I'm not a meteorologist, but it does something when you hear about these cold fronts happening and you hear about like a lot of snow and things. It does something to the current, and it's actually rockier in the winter time. So I would say if you like to cruise with cooler weather, the winter's great, but also know that it could be rockier as far as wherever you're traveling to. uh let's see here. Carlton, welcome in. Thank you for watching on Facebook. Debbie Lynn says, "What do you think about the what do you think about the 2026 rewards for Carnival?" I'll be very honest, and I was chatting with some fellow travel agents and content creators and friends earlier today. I got an email from Carnival today. I couldn't even read it, honestly. All of these changes that keep happening, I'll read it later. I did bookmark it to read it later, but all of these changes that keep happening, and then like what they sent out today, it was just too wordy. And someone in the chat mentioned, yes, they needed to give us some visual because they just keep changing things. My takeaway from it, because I've already seen videos on social media, is that if you originally, if you were diamond, you were able to lock in that diamond status for 8 years, was it? Now it's once you're locked in diamond, as long as you're locked in diamond by June 1st of 2026, you're diamond for life. So you're not going to backpedal once the new program works. If you're platinum, you will lose it after 2 years, 2028, I think it is, if you're platinum, but they're going to give you some reward points to boost you to at least gold status, is my understanding. I totally understand why Carnival's doing what they're doing, though, because honestly, I get what they're doing, but I think they could have done it differently. So they're making a change with their loyalty program because they have so many loyal cruisers that it's like the perks don't make sense if you have over half the ship platinum. If half the ship is platinum and everyone's going to guest services, you're going to have a line at the platinum diamond line. Um, the early embarkation or priority embarkation, if you have half the ship platinum, it's really no priority. So I totally get what they're doing, but I think they need to do two different things. They could have maybe added more levels and kind of spread that out a little more. That would have, for me, would have been the easy solution. But also, I think what's bigger for Carnival, what they should have done rather than adding on, their perks, because honestly, their perks for me aren't even worth the trying to become diamond. We're very close to becoming diamond, but it won't happen before the cutoff, and I'm not worried about it. Um, I think Carnival needs to show loyalty to their loyal cruisers by giving discounts. If you guys have been cruising Carnival, if you're diamond with Carnival, and let's say you don't play in the casino, you're not getting any deals. I get clients all the time saying, can you give me pricing on this Carnival cruise? I'm a platinum cruiser. Okay, and what? You're a platinum cruiser. It means nothing for your pricing. It means absolutely nothing. So what Carnival needs to do is come up with a system to where if you're diamond, that you're getting discounts on your cruises, like discounts, almost kind of what the casino players are getting. Now, I know that they give the casino players these discounted rates because they're going to be in the casino gambling and playing anyways and drinking. I get it. But I think what would have been better for Carnival is to start offering some sort of tiered discount system for those loyal cruisers. Because honestly, for me, the perks just aren't worth trying to even get to diamond. That's my little spill. Welcome in, Marjorie. Appreciate you being here. Hi and good afternoon to you. And we have 115 people watching. If you guys are new here, I'm RacQuelle from MHFamilyAdventures, and this is our Monday Midday Cruise Q&A, where I go live on Mondays to answer cruise questions that you may have. So feel free to drop those in the chat. And if you aren't already subscribed, please consider subscribing. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers. I know it's a hefty goal. We just hit 36,000. So we are gaining subscribers quickly. I don't know. We might be able to do it before the new year. We'll see. We still have 7 cruises to go this year, so it's possible. We're hopeful. Let's see here. I'm scrolling. And I feel like these questions are going all the way back. So if I'm skipping you guys, I apologize. It's like these comments are just moving. Let's see here. Tanya says, what is the best cruise line for a first time cruiser and an introvert? That is a loaded question. It really depends on your cruising style. Some people are introverts. I'm an introvert, believe it or not. Um, but I like to people watch and I like the action. So I personally would enjoy Carnival Cruise for my first cruise because I like to be part of it without being part of it. But there are some introverts that aren't people watchers and they just want to kind of still be to themselves. I might say Celebrity Cruise Line. So it really just depends on your style of being introverted because there's different levels to that. But I would say first time cruiser, if you're looking for the best value, the best pricing, it's definitely going to be Carnival, MSC, price point, Royal Caribbean as well, price point wise. I would say maybe to avoid the 3 night weekend cruises if you aren't into like partying and people are really there to have a good time on those shorter cruises. Maybe do like a 4 or 5 night cruise. But yeah, it really just depends on what type of introvert you are. But yeah, that's kind of a loaded question. Queen Gemini, welcome in, welcome in. Let's see here. Debbie Lynn says, Raquel, what transportation do you recommend from Orlando Airport to Cape Canaveral Hotel? You could use cruise control. Well, cruise control is going to get you from the from the airport to the cruise port or the hotel to the cruise port. Not sorry, wherever it is. They're not going to get you from Orlando Airport to Cape Canaveral. I honestly would just say Uber or Lyft, but you could also check GoPort. Now, I don't promote GoPort as far as just getting cruise transportation. Sorry, told you I'm going city. We got a lot going on today, huh? Is that you, Andrew? um, Thank you so much, Claudia, for subscribing. We appreciate it and all this discussion here. Appreciate you being here. Um, I would say go for it. Now, I tend to cruise control as our partner. That's what we recommend for transportation from the airport to the cruise terminal and vice versa, or from the Orlando airport hotels, Cape Canaveral hotels to the cruise terminal. But if you're just trying to get to your hotel, Uber, Lyft, you can even do GoPort, and GoPort does offer hotel. Hush. GoPort does offer hotel packages that have uh, transportation and a hotel stay as well. Let's see here. Kenneth says, I have another question. Do you have any advice on being on time after doing excursion? Does setting alarm on your iPhone? No. So that's a good question. So what Kenneth is referring to, sometimes you go to certain places and the time changes. You always, always, always have to make sure that you're on ship's time. A lot of times iPhones, Androids, whatever, they don't reset to ship's time. So you could be in Jamaica, and don't quote me on this, but Jamaica might be 1 hour ahead. So the ship's time might stay on ship's time, but Jamaica's time is an hour ahead. You have to be mindful of that when planning your excursion as well as being on your excursion because you don't want the ship to leave you. So, what I tend to do instead of looking at my actual phone time is, let's say I'm in port and there's a difference between ship's time and local time. And let's say I know we're in port from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And so that's what? Let's say the back on board time is 4 p.m. So that's 8 hours. So I know that there's 8 hours that I can be off the ship. If I get off the ship at 8, there's 8 hours that I can be off the ship and I need to be back within that 8 hours. So I will set a timer for like 6.5 hours and set an actual timer. That way I have an hour and a half to get back to the ship, or even set it for 6 hours. So I always look at the length of time that I'm going to be in port and I set a timer. I don't look at the clock because sometimes you start getting confused on, is this ship's time? Is this? And you can check ship's time on the app for the cruise line, but sometimes when you're away from the ship, sometimes the app doesn't work. So you're not able to see what the actual ship's time is. Now, if you're somebody that's mindful and won't forget that there's a difference, it might be easy enough for you just to add on an hour to your iPhone or take away an hour or whatever the case might be. But I would say set a timer and not an alarm, if that makes sense. So a timer so you know how much time you can be there comfortably and get back on time versus setting an actual alarm. Welcome in, Ronnie C. Appreciate you being here. Gaynell says, is it best to exchange your money before you go abroad or just use credit? Credit cards are widely accepted. I can tell you in Greece, pretty much everything's accepted except for Discover. So if you have American Express, MasterCard, Visa, that's accepted pretty much anywhere. Like even kiosks on the street, most of them accept credit card. You really don't have to do a lot of exchanging money. If you do, I would say just do it at an ATM once you get there. Possibly away from the airport because those fees are going to be a little bit higher, but you're going to pay that conversion fee at the ATM. But if you order them through like your bank or credit union, sometimes you might have heftier fees if you do it in advance. So I just had better luck, I think, using the ATM once I get to whatever destination I'm going to and do it outside of the airport. Let's see here. Elisa says, I thought the entry into Athens was very easy. Have you found that to be the case in other countries you have been to? It depends. I mean, for the most part, yes. Yes. As long as you have your travel documentation, it can be quick and easy now. If you're talking about going through customs when you entered, I think some of us lucked up because we had less than a 5 minute wait to go through, but I heard that some had to wait like 45, 50 minutes. It really just depends on the day of the week you fly in, how many flights are coming in, all of that. But for the most part, it's pretty quick and easy as far as just showing your passport. They might ask a question like, where are you staying? What are you doing here? They're going to kind of just scroll through it, stamp it, you're good to go. So yeah, it's pretty easy as long as there's nothing on your passport or anything, make sure you have your visa, passport, all that stuff together. But yeah, it's pretty easy. Welcome in, Meredith. Appreciate you being here. Glory Jackson, welcome in, welcome in. Together We Travel, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Phil and D's Travel Spree, welcome in, welcome in. Hope you guys are doing well. I really enjoyed your Disney Pirates Night video yesterday. That was pretty cool. Together We Travel says, what are your thoughts on the minor adjustments to the Carnival loyalty program that was announced today? I just talked about that. Meredith says, in Greece only place you've been abroad or got a new bucket list for a different place? No, Greece is not the only place that I've been abroad. I've been to several places abroad. The place that's on my bucket list right now that actually I should have been going to next week that I had to cancel was Japan. That is on my list. I'm in Africa, but yeah, I've been to other places abroad. Greece just happens to be one of my favorite. So this was my second time in Greece, and I can tell you that I am booked for 2026 Greece, and then I am booked for our group cruise 2027 Greece. Greece, I just love it. The people there are so friendly. Um, I love the food. I love the culture. Yeah, I think I've fallen in love with Greece, and yeah, so I plan to probably visit probably once a year, I think. But I do have other places on my bucket list. Lida Shay, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Happy Monday to you. Mickey says that adjustment was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to hear that they are taking some of the feedback. It would have been nice if they did something for platinum cruises other than give them loyalty points. Because in my mind, it's like if you could match them to gold, you could have just matched them to platinum. But okay. Queen Gemini says, do you think you'll ever do a group cruise on Virgin Voyages? I think I will. I actually have a sail with me happening January 21st through the 25th. Now, people always ask me, well, what's the difference between a sail with me and a group cruise? So, group cruise will have organized activities. We'll probably like have a pre-cruise dinner. We might have like swag bags. We might, do excursions together. Everything is like group. Whereas the sail with me is I'm on board. If you want to join me on board, we can meet up, chat, have a drink, maybe do an excursion together, what have you. I'm just on board. And then a lot of times it's clients that maybe don't feel comfortable cruising on their own or they're solo, just knowing that you have somebody that you can go to. That's what a sail with me is. So I do have a sail with me on Scarlet Lady, January 21st to the 25th. I think I have about 15 joining me for that sail with me. Um, but yeah, I do think I will be doing a Virgin Voyages group cruise. I just don't know when. I can tell you it won't be abroad. I don't think it'll be abroad. Because again, what I just mentioned before is that I like to have the itinerary, and Virgin is nice, but when you look at their itineraries for like Greece, you might be on a 7 night cruise and you might get 3 or 4 ports. And I would rather, if I'm on a 7 night cruise going to Greece, I'd rather have the 6 ports. And then you can pick and choose whether you're going to stay on board for one of the ports and make that a sea day. Welcome in, Team Reese Travels. Appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys are doing well. And shout out to all of our channel members who are watching. I appreciate you guys being here as well. Vernell says, when you take a cruise, do you get discount for your next cruise? No. Are you talking about me personally, or are you talking about people in general? No, for the most part, most cruise lines don't have any type of loyalty program to where if you cruise with them, you get a discount off your next cruise. It just doesn't really exist unless you are a casino player. If you're a casino player, you can almost guarantee before you leave the ship, you're probably going to get a notice in your door that you got a discounted cruise or a free cruise, or you're going to have some emails or offers in your account. If you get off a Royal Caribbean ship and plan to book another one, no, there's not going to be a discount. Now, if you book a cruise while on board the ship, sometimes they might offer special promotions where you can save a little bit, a couple $100 maybe, or maybe you can get some onboard credit. But as far as like a standard discount, no, that doesn't exist. Cassandra, welcome in, welcome in. Says, thank you for handling my family's cruise transfer to your agency. Well, we appreciate you transferring your reservation to our agency. Um, Together We Travel says, I'm always checking for price drops after making down payments. I have benefited greatly. Yeah. And you can sometimes. Now, I don't feel like price drops for certain cruise lines are as common as they used to be because cruising is at high demand. And with demand, the pricing increases. It really depends on when you book. Sometimes you can catch price drops, but it's not, some cruise lines, it's not very common. So I get people sometimes that reach out and they want to book and they're expecting price drops. Don't book whatever you're comfortable with and what you're comfortable with paying. I've literally had someone to have to cancel because they booked like a balcony cabin and just thought that over time the price would go down. That does not always happen. And by the time they were ready to make a change, I guess part of the ship was chartered out or something happened. And they were like, oh, well, I can't really afford the balcony now. I thought the price would drop. Can you put me in an interior? Well, there wasn't any interiors left. They had to cancel. So make sure you book what you feel comfortable paying. And then if the price drops happen, that's wonderful. Let's see here. Leah Fingers, welcome in, says, doing my first Alaskan princess from Seattle, Washington. New to Princess, never been to Seattle. Any tips for pre-cruise accommodations, what to pack and what to expect cruising Princess? That's a lot there. I would say first off, you're going to enjoy Princess is ranked number one as far as Alaskan cruises. They're ranked number one and Holland America is ranked number two. And Princess has been ranked that for like 18 years, I think now. So they offer the most immersive experience for Alaska. So you're going to really enjoy. They're going to have all kinds of things on the itinerary for you. They're going to bring on environmentalists on board. So make sure you sign up for some of those seminars and things like that that'll happen on board the ship. But as far as pre-cruise accommodations, it depends on your budget. If you are more mindful of your budget, and want to spend a little less, stay near the airport. There's hotels there at SeaTac Airport. I'll be very honest. The few times that I've been to Seattle, I have not found like one go-to hotel near SeaTac Airport. If you look at the reviews, some of the reviews can be pretty bad, but the pricing is a lot cheaper than if you stay near the cruise port or near the downtown area. If you don't mind spending $350 to $400 per night, then stay downtown near um, Pike Market, stay that in that area, or near the cruise port. It's going to be more expensive, but you're going to be near everything. You can walk to most places or what have you. But yeah, for Princess, I would say if you don't have their Princess Plus or Princess Premier, to maybe add that onto your booking because you're going to get like your gratuities included. You're going to get drinks. You're going to get Wi-Fi. You're going to get some specialty dining, some casual dining, and different things included. And that value is better than if you eventually add on drinks or Wi-Fi or anything like that on your own. So I would say do that. You can order your Princess Medallion, which is your room key. You can order that in advance so it can come to your house. That way it kind of zooms you through check-in at the terminal because you will be green status and you can just kind of walk through because you have your medallion, you're ready to go. Let's see. Princess Dining. You want to make reservations if you have Princess Plus, Princess Premier. You want to make those reservations as soon as you can. Typically, if you don't have status with Princess, it's after you make your final payment because of their Princess Plus, Princess Premier program. A lot of times, their specialty dining sells out before you get on board. They will offer about 10 to 20% of the reservations once on board the ship, but even those sell out quickly, especially for those that are higher tier. They'll go right to guest services and book those up quickly. Um, but that's it, I think. There's a lot. There's a lot there in that question. But let me know if you have any specific questions. Um, Catherine says the FSU shirt has to go. I don't even do football. This is my alma mater, so I don't even do football, so I don't even know what's going on with that. But let's see here. Together Travel says, have you received any invites to the new Celebrity XL? Not yet. Not yet. It would be nice to get an invite to Celebrity XL, but no, not yet. Let's see here. Not a mouse says, question. I asked this once before, but then YouTube died. I'm looking for quiet beaches in Nassau. Oh, I remember that. I remember this question. I love an experience similar to Half Moon Cay or Ocean Cay. You're probably going to have to catch a taxi or get on one of the jitney buses, which are like $2. That'll take you closer to like, can't think of Cable Beach. Is it Cable Beach? Yes, Cable Beach area where you have like Breezes Resort. You have there's it's kind of the resort area. That side tends to be quieter than like Junkanoo Beach right there. So go towards the Cable Beach area. Um Cabbage Beach, the Cabbage Beach? Cabbage Beach is near Paradise Island, I think. Yeah, Cable Beach is where you want to go. There are a lot of resorts that way. Now, all of the beaches in Nassau are public, but keep in mind that trying to find, like, if you're not trying to spend money at a resort or get a day pass, to find a public beach that has shares in that area is going to be kind of slim because the resorts just kind of take it over. But if you don't mind like sitting on a towel and just kind of going to the beach, you can kind of go in between the resorts and claim an area there. But if you want food, drinks, and all that, you're going to want to get a day pass. Um, Since I don't want to swim with pigs, I would really like to avoid pig poop. Yeah. And you actually have to go further away for, is it Rose Island or what is the island? You have to go further away for the pigs. You're not going to find pigs in the water at right by the cruise terminal. But I think Junkanoo Beach is a nice beach being right there, but it does get pretty busy. Welcome in, Michelle PJ. Appreciate you being here. Mickey's Adventure says troll, maybe. There probably is a troll on here somewhere that I'm not looking at. Delara, welcome into you. Vernell says celebrate cruise. What is good savings? Celebration cruise? Is that what you're talking about? Marie says, hi, I really want to go on a cruise next year to Italy, France, and Spain. This is a bucket list for me. First time cruiser. Don't know where to start. Any advice? Join our Sisters Cruising Abroad. We are starting in Spain and we are going to 3 stops in Italy and 2 in France. So if you want to cruise, because some of the cruisers with us, we have quite a few solo cruisers, have never been abroad and feel more comfortable going as a group. This is a ladies only trip. It is June 12th through the 19th on board MSC World Europa, which is one of their newer, nicer ships. And we start in Barcelona, Spain. So if you want to join us for that, reach out. And then if you want to plan something else, send me an email. Right now, our inquiry form is turned off because we're getting in, thankfully, a large amount of inquiries. Most of them are legit, but sometimes you get a bunch of, random things. So we've had to turn that off for a minute. But if you're serious about planning, send me an email, cruise at majoradventurestravel.com. And if you go to our website, majoradventurestravel.com, you will find our email and all of that there. But yeah, join us. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much. Mickey's Adventure says match the thumbs up with the number of participants. Yes. Uh, Meredith says, yeah, 50,000. Yeah, 50,000 subscribers and 7 more cruises to go. Yes. Together We Travel says, we agree on the diamond and platinum guest discounts. They should. They really should. Keeping Up with the Griffins, welcome in. Hope you guys are doing well. Says, hi, RacQuelle. If you're listening, good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. Vernell says, host, how do you say your name? My name is RacQuelle. I get all kinds of pronunciations, and I honestly probably answer to it all because I've done that my whole life. My name, and I appreciate you asking that because I don't get asked that ever. But people call me Raquel, they call me Rochelle, it's RacQuelle. But thank you for asking. Delara says Viator offers transportation services. They do. But a lot of times Viator, sometimes you have to be cautious on using Viator. What I do, my trick for using Viator, and I use Viator often. But what I always do is when you go onto Viator and you're about to book something, it will tell you who this booking is serviced by or what this company's name is. I almost always go to that company's name website first to see if there's a markup. A lot of times on Viator, there's a slight markup on the cost because so Viator is like a Google for travel. And so if you are a mom and pop transportation company, you're probably not getting as much traffic to your personal website. So they pay Viator to be on Viator's webpage. So a lot of times, because companies have to pay to be on Viator, they have a little markup in the price that they offer to those who are cruising or traveling or what have you. So trick to using Viator is to compare pricing. I love Viator. I book directly through Viator, but a lot of times I don't, because I go there and I look to see, okay, this person's offering $30 per person shuttle. Who's servicing this? And then there'll be a name of a company. And a lot of times I'll leave from Viator, go to their website, and I might book directly if it's cheaper. So just a little trick for you. On the go with YOLO. Welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Happy Monday to you. Sharonda, welcome into you. Nia, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. It's Chocolate Drop. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. DeAndre, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. DeAndre, the travel agent. Um, Savvy Voyages. What are your thoughts on celebrities and river cruises coming out? Would you ever try it? Yes, I want to try it, but I was ticked off with how the rollout went. So if you guys have been following, and if you're a client of mine, I did send an email out, and I did post on social media that I was trying to get priority reservations for some of my clients looking to either cruise the river for the first time, or maybe they're already river cruisers. And so they released it actually when I was in Greece. And they said 9 a.m. on this date, you can get access for your clients. It's a $500 refundable deposit to hold their space. They will get notified when the itineraries are released. And so I had a few clients to bite on that, and sent their information to make their deposit, and I couldn't get it. I literally was signed in, ready to go right when it opened, and then we get a notification a half hour after that they sold out in 6 minutes. So I don't think that they released. I think it was more of a clickbait. It was really to get people hyped and excited for this. And now travel agents are talking about it. And let's tell our clients to get ready to put your $500 down. And a lot of the people that I know weren't able to get any of the reservations. So the way that worked is they just recently released those itineraries out to those guests that were able to secure the priority access. And so they're able to start booking. Everyone else will start booking in about a week and a half, I believe. They're going to put it publicly, so then you're able to book. And so I didn't like the way that rolled out. But I'm also hearing, if you guys have seen the brochure for the river cruising for celebrity, when I first saw the brochure, I was like, oh, these prices are pretty nice. You're talking, I mean, pretty nice for a river cruise. You're talking 4,000 per person. you know I mean, that's a lot for most people, but for a river cruise, that's not. Well, what I'm hearing is there's a big emphasis on those asterisks. So the $4,000 is not what it is. So people that are booking now, I'm hearing feedback that, yeah, that 4,000 for this itinerary is now 7,000. So I don't know. I haven't seen the pricing. I'll see it soon. I'll see it when it's released to the general public, because apparently as travel advisors don't get that access, unless we have someone that was able to get that priority access. I don't have it. So, but yes, I would like to do the river cruise. I would like to try any river cruise, but yeah. Catherine says, what cruise line for Africa? I don't know. I honestly don't know. There are cruise lines that visit Africa. You have MSC, you have NCL, Azamara. There are other cruise lines that visit Africa. I think when we do that, it would probably be a longer cruise, like a 10 to 14 night cruise, and I'd want the whole family to go. But it would also be probably part land, part cruise. That more than likely won't be a group cruise. There's just certain destinations that visiting for the first time, I don't want to, not that I don't like people, not that I don't want to have people come with us, but it's something, I like to travel and I like to experience things for myself and with the family. And it's different when you're taking a group. So, like Japan, when we go to Japan for the first time, that won't be a group cruise. Africa won't be a group cruise the first time we go. But after we go. Yes, absolutely. Meredith says, I've only been on a Carnival. What royal ship would you recommend for a couple with a 4-year-old? I mean, you really can't go wrong with anything Freedom class and above. Freedom class would be like Freedom of the Seas, Liberty of the Seas, some others. The Oasis class, so Oasis of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas. They all have, first off, they included Kids Club, which kids absolutely love. They have the boardwalk area, which will have like a carousel, little fun activities. They have kids splash areas and smaller pools for the kids. If you're on the Icon class, they have the Surfside family area that has a small splash area, water slide, all of that. So any of those ships you can't go wrong with. Now, if you're looking at the older ships, maybe not as much fun for a 4-year-old, but anything Freedom class and above would be great. Let's see here. Karen Brooks says 2027 Greece group. Is there a flyer? There is if you're a channel member. If you're a channel member, you found out about this Greece group cruise. And if you were in Greece with us, you found out about this first. Everyone else, it'll be released tomorrow evening. We're having a chit chat Tuesday tomorrow with some of our um, group Greece group members, just to kind of chat about Greece and what they, kind of their takeaways from Greece. And we will be announcing that cruise then. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much. Mickey says 122 watching, only 79 likes. Yeah, guys, let's get that up. It really does help. You guys don't understand. Liking videos, commenting on videos, and there's something called a hype or something now on a video. I don't know what it is, but something about hyping up videos, it kind of puts you in the algorithm, but I don't know what all that is. But M. Rosser, welcome in. Appreciate you being here watching on Facebook. Uh Let's see here. Sean says, hey, this Fat Albert just came in 2:41 p.m. St. Lucia. Don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Scromwell says, hello, are you taking new clients yet? We are not at this very moment, but by the end of the month, we should be back. We just have to get some things organized. When you start getting a large influx of people, it's one of those things where we're a small agency. You can only handle as much as you can handle with the travel and the content creation and everything. And I don't ever want to take on more than I can actually handle. That's when we have to take a pause on getting new inquiries. So, and honestly, it's like a balancing thing too, because we have so many loyal repeat clients. So that keeps us busy. We get a lot of people that reach out for true inquiries and they're ready to cruise and ready to book and get information. But honestly, we get a lot of people that reach out, price this out, this and that, book online, or just reaching out for questions and stuff. So we have to find a better system to filter some of that out, because that's where it gets discouraging as a travel agent is, our services are free. Us doing the research for you is free. But when we get people that aren't serious about cruising or realistic about the cost and this and that, that's where it kind of gets tiring, because we're constantly having to go through our inquiry forms to kind of filter out some of those things. And so, yeah, hopefully by the end of the month, we'll be back. Let's see here. Cruising Charlie, welcome in, welcome in. I don't think I've seen your name before, but I'll have to give you a follow. Says, hello, just booked a last minute Halloween cruise on NCL Gym. Maybe I'll see you on board. Have you been on a cruise during Halloween or on NCL Gym, Grand Bahama Island, yay or nay? I have not been on a Halloween cruise. And I have not been on NCL Gem. I've been on NCL Sky, which are they sister ships? I don't think I had an issue with NCL Sky other than the vibe of NCL is different for me. But the ship itself was fine. But Grand Bahama is Freeport, Bahamas, not my favorite cruise port. I always still get off and I'll find something to do, go to the beach or whatever. Probably not my favorite. It's very industrial. So when you dock, just trying to get to like a resort or to a beach or to any place, you kind of have to go maybe about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes away from the cruise port. There's not anything to do like right there at the cruise port. So it's not my favorite port for that reason, but you can find some beautiful beaches there. You can get some delicious food there, but not a whole lot to do. I would say if you've never been, to maybe plan an excursion. Don't plan to just wing it when you get there. Also, their taxis aren't necessarily regulated. So you might be told one price to get to this beach from this taxi driver and something different. So, um, So yeah, but yeah, NCL Gym. Drea says book Japan. Yeah, we will at some point. Let's see here. Oh, hold on. Is it scrolling back? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Oh, it looks like I skipped over. Oh, it's going back to the beginning again with all the questions. Hold on, let me scroll back. Uh, but appreciate you guys being here. We have 135 people watching. So appreciate you guys being here. Sorry, just trying to scroll back. Savvy Voyages says, when are you doing another travel advisor Q&A? I might actually next week I am scheduled. So I might am I frozen? Looks like I'm frozen on Facebook. Um I might do one next week. I'm scheduled for just a regular cruise chit chat, but I might make it a combo. So just stay tuned if I update that flyer. Am I frozen on Facebook? Delaire says, have you done the transatlantic from New York to Southampton on the Cunard? I have not. First off, I've never cruised Cunard. I was booked on Cunard and got nervous. It just comes across as a very stuffy luxury line for me. I know eventually I probably should try it because I've had a couple clients to book Cunard and people are interested. So at some point I will do it. It just is not my cup of tea. And I have not done a transatlantic. I will eventually do a transatlantic. I just at this point having school age children. We have a senior that's graduating. Andrew's 20, and then Joe Marie is in fourth grade. It's just hard to commit to being gone for like 14 to 15 days for a transatlantic. There's no ports, and I'm more about ports and sea days. So for me, transatlantics with all those sea days just doesn't appeal to me. Janice, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Janice says, hello, RacQuelle. Thank you again for being so nice to me for booking my Barcelona, Spain, cruising to Italy. I hope you do Japan and Australia. We'll see. Well, thank you for booking. And Janice is part of our Sisters Cruising Abroad next year. So appreciate you joining us. Nia says, I wanted to explore journeys in 2027 for my 30th birthday. My favorite cruise line. It's hard to compare Explorer Journeys to other cruise lines, but right now they're my top. They're my top, and I'm excited for my upcoming Explorer Journeys cruise. Would there be any special Halloween activities or decor? I've heard sometimes there's decor depending, but yeah, usually there's going to be some sort of Halloween costume contest, things like that. I don't know if NCL goes all out like other cruise lines. Like I know Virgin Voyages for sure does. Carnival will have something on Halloween. I would say maybe reach out to NCL. I'm not 100% sure how NCL does it, but typically people dress up. Or if the cruise line doesn't do it, I've seen on like Facebook groups where they just organize their own. Like, let's get dressed up, let's have this on the deck. So I would say reach out to NCL or join the Facebook group for your sailing and see if there's anything in the works. Charlie says, am I seeing you on board? We'll have to see. Says leaves on Halloween out of Jacksonville. I know Jacksonville is my home city. So, and it's the first sailing out of Jacksonville. So we'll see. Chickadee says, awesome insight on your traveling and group cruising. Me first, then share your experiences with your audience. That's one reason why I love your channel and business approach. Absolutely. That's kind of my thing is let me scope it out, share the information, share the content to help alleviate some of that anxiety, some of that stress, and then book your travels with us. And we're going to be there to help guide you along the way. And that's kind of how our Greece trip went. That's how our um, MSC Seashore, our very first group cruise, where we had well over 100 people with us. And then MSC World America, I've been on MSC World America, I have content out there. So that's kind of my thing. Especially going abroad, I like to, it's hard to guide and lead if you haven't experienced it. And so I don't want to take people to Japan and I have not a clue what's going on, and I'm trying to, nope. So I'll go scope it out and then I'll announce a group. Deborah says your Greece group tour before the cruise seemed amazing. Yeah, it was a good time. I love Athens. It's really nice. Scrumwell says, thanks, I'm a new subscriber and I love your videos. I will definitely check back because we are ready. Well, thank you so much for subscribing. We appreciate your support. Let's see here. Robert says, hello. Me and my wife booked a 14-day cruise on Carnival next year, leaving from Baltimore. Will we run into less kids running up and down the hallways? Absolutely. Absolutely. Those journeys cruises, And usually, what's his name, John Held, he'll announce how many people are on board. And I've seen other Journeys cruises where there might be like 15 kids. A lot of times, especially depending on when you go, a lot of times those 14-night cruises are in the fall or winter. Kids are in school and parents aren't taking their kids out for a 14-day cruise. So yeah, you're going to see a lot less kids. You might not even see any. Bree Travel Adventures, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Let's see here. Oh, am I at the bottom of the chat? Wonderful, because yeah, it's about that time. So, if you have any last minute questions, feel free to drop those in. But yeah, if you missed our Athens pre-cruise, that vlog that was released yesterday, I'm hoping to have a vlog out Wednesday for our first couple of port days on our MHFamilyAdventures Greece group cruise. Now, I'm a few series behind. You're probably wondering what happened to Carnival Conquest, because Carnival Conquest was also a group cruise. Carnival Conquest will be out soon. I didn't put that out before Greece because Greece is kind of hot right now. And so you have to be strategic with how you release content. I've done Carnival Conquest 3 or 4 times, so those vlogs are already out there. I don't anticipate the group cruise moving much further than any of the other Conquest vlogs. There's a Margaritaville at Sea series that we haven't released. There's some more Star of the Seas content. There's a lot of stuff just kind of scrambled around here that hasn't gotten out. So stay tuned for all of that. Um, what else? I think that's probably about it. So tomorrow we will have our Chit Chat Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, we're just talking Greece. What happened during our Greece group cruise? We're going to have the perspective of some of those that were part of our group. There are some other channels that were on board for our group cruise. They already have tons of videos out. They were pushing it out while they were on the ship. You have Edna from Edna's World. You have Veronica from Life of V. You have Elisa from Elisa's Adventures in Cruising. And you have Bill from Warm Strong Adventures. Oh, and you have CJ and Dee Dee from the Traveling Heartbeats. So if you are looking for some of that Grease content, they have it. I don't, not yet. It'll be there soon, but make sure I didn't miss any questions. And we will have another Monday Midday Cruise Q&A next week. The following week, I think we might have one the following week as well, or maybe I'm on a cruise. Thank you so much, Renee, for subscribing. We appreciate you joining our family, and everyone who's subscribed, channel members, we appreciate all of your support. Again, we are on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Hold on, just making sure I didn't miss anything. Cruising Charlie says, now I'm extra excited. Game Church says, thank you very much for this Q&A. I can still learn new things about cruising. I'm still learning new things about cruising, and I am 78 cruises in. I am preparing to go on my 79th cruise in less than a month. And I'm still learning. So that's one of the things, and that's the beauty of actually getting out there and cruising and trying different cruise lines. Like, I literally learn something new every day, not just by me cruising, but there are a lot of other amazing content creators out there. So I watch their videos and vlogs and stuff on social media. So there's stuff is always evolving when it comes to travel and when it comes to cruising. And so I try to stay updated on all of that. But let's see, I think that was it. So appreciate you guys being here for this Monday Midday Cruise Q&A. We will do it again next Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow we will be live, and Ron will be joining me for this chit chat. And then we have some other content creators joining us and group members joining us as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week and appreciate you guys being here. I'll see you later.